Jim has signed a 7-year deal. And a year from now, I will review the football program's progress, and the university will determine an appropriate deferred compensation arrangement, which I have to take into account market conditions at that time. As you know, there's a lot of opportunity out there for talent like this. Well, I don't plan on talking more about pay because I'm totally at peace with the fact that we have a win-win deal here.
Hi, I'm Adam Biggers, and I cover Michigan Wolverines football for Bleacher Report. Joining me today is Paul Vance, an attorney at Cline, and Griffin, and a former sports agent. Paul and I are going to break down Jim Harbaugh's contract on the surface. Paul, there's some stipulations and loopholes there that can change his rate of compensation.
Yeah, that's true, Adam. You keep in mind, we don't yet have a full copy of his contract. I don't think the University of Michigan has released that yet. But based upon other coaches' contracts of $5 million, they say he'll receive annually. My guess is that only a portion of that will be base salary, and then there'll be other ways they'll compensate him from there. For instance, if you look at Brady Hoke's past contract, his base salary was $300,000, but he received upwards of $1.5 million for other related obligations that a head coach has to deal with.
What are some of those other obligations?
Typically, they involve media appearances, radio shows, things of that nature. Generally, coaches will also get compensation for apparel, things of that nature.
Harbaugh's contract is incentive-laden, Paul. He's going to get bonuses for making to the Big Ten championship game. He'll get a bonus if he's named Coach of the Year. What are some of those specific bonuses he could receive?
And these are generally typical in every coaching contract. First of all, they usually start out with an academic performance bonus. In this case, Harbaugh is going to receive $150,000 per year if they meet the academic progress rate, which is an NCAA regulation for specifically men's basketball and the football programs, and you have to reach a certain score, and it's based upon the team GPA. The University of Michigan, I assume it's not going to be very hard for him to reach the academic progress rate. He gets other bonuses for getting Coach of the Year. He would get a bonus for winning the Big Ten or going to the Big Ten championship game. Most likely he'll have a bonus for making the football playoff and also for appearing in the college football championship.
Not only is money part of the deal, Paul, but a lot of times they'll get fringe benefits. Explain to us exactly what those are.
Well, typically what you see in a college football coach's contract in terms of fringe benefits, a lot of times they'll come in the way of use of vehicles. Sometimes it's use of the university airplane. A lot of contracts that I've seen will have a provision that the university will pay for membership to the local country club. Most coaches have a clause in their contract where they can bring their wife or family members on the road with them. Also, it generally includes a certain amount of tickets or use of a suite at the football stadium, men's basketball tickets. Those are sort of things which would be fringe benefits, which is not necessarily compensation in the form of dollars, but basically other perks of the job.
Just goods and services, a kind of nice gift, a nice thank you gift. Final question for you, Paul. We hear these millions of dollars of contracts, and you mentioned how sometimes that base salary is only a few $100,000. Where exactly does a lot of the rest of this money come from?
Well, taking University of Michigan, first of all, their athletic department is completely self-sufficient, meaning they don't use public tax dollars to fund their athletic department, which is probably very rare in Division I college football. But a lot of times you will see apparel companies that have a contract with the university. The university will use that money to cover some of the contract.
And the final details of his contract too, after year 3, a 10% bump in salary. After year 5, a 10% bump in salary. 10% may not sound like a lot, but when you're speaking in terms of millions of dollars, that does break down to a big chunk of change.
Right. So if you take the 10% increase and go 5 years, I mean, he'll be making upwards of $6 million just in his salary and additional compensation.
So on paper, and as the story goes, Jim Harbaugh opted to take less money in order to pay his assistants more. He wasn't out to necessarily gouge or get the most that he could get from Michigan. But upon a further look, it looks like he can earn much more than just the $5 million per year that is originally scheduled.
Yeah, if you take into account the deferred compensation agreement and certainly the bonuses, Coach Harbaugh will certainly probably make more than $5 million a season. And keep in mind, a lot of times you negotiate a pool of money with the university that you can use for your assistants. So it doesn't necessarily come from money that would have otherwise went to Coach Harbaugh.
Again, I'm Adam Biggers. I cover Michigan Wolverines football for Bleacher Report. Paul Vance, attorney at Cline, and Griffin. Thanks a lot for your time today, Paul.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
Thank you.
Who's got it better than us?